way with the Charlie situation. I am not guilty because I did not do anything wrong, and I was not involved in any way with Danny's death. Here she was. But I was interviewed by the police and testified in court.
I definitely think she says, and I didn't say she was. I didn't say she was.
I don't know how much anger we don't. I'm not responsible in any way for Charlie's situation. I am not guilty because I did not do anything wrong, and I was not involved in any way with Danny's death. Here she was. When I was interviewed by the police and testified in court, I told the truth as I was required to do. I cannot control how the prosecutor used my statements at Charlie's trial. Again, I didn't say that. No. I don't know how much anger.
Again, I didn't say that is consistent, right? So at first she says, and I didn't say that, right? And then the second time she says, again, I didn't say that. Ladybug was right.
Hello everybody, Mentor Lawyer. I have done a video long ago, about 3 years ago, where I discussed my thoughts about Wendy's involvement or knowledge about the upcoming murder of Dan Markel back in 2014 and her potential involvement in the murder. What is happening now, however, I find it to be completely irresponsible. I still have the same opinions that I had back in 2020 regarding Wendi. But I am an advocate for justice. I'm not an advocate for justice for Dan Markel. I'm an advocate for justice. And that means fair prosecution, fair interpretation of evidence. And now what I've seen is multiple channels, including a large channel that had me as a guest on a show, with a title on their video that is, to me, clickbait and false, that suggests that Donna Adelson implicated her daughter in the murder based on a phone call that is of very poor quality, but that if you listen very careful to the phone call, you can tell that whatever Donna Adelson said is not anything that would implicate her daughter. Quite the opposite is true. She's repeating a text communication between herself and her daughter, and she reads out loud to someone else in the room what Wendi wrote, indicating that Wendi wrote in the text to Donna that she denies an involvement in the murder, and then Donna makes a comment saying, and I didn't say that, or something to that effect. And because the recording is of poor quality and the way she said it was kind of short and difficult to comprehend unless you do some fussing with the editing software and you listen very carefully and you slow down the speed, at which case you can tell clearly that what she's saying is not anything that would implicate Wendi. So if you just do a quick listen to it and you don't listen to the full conversation, because a few seconds later she says something else in the same conversation that also supports the conclusion that whatever Donna said was not meant to implicate her daughter at all, quite the opposite. So now several channels have grabbed on to that misinterpretation of the very short comment by Donna and makes a sound, they all make it sound like Donna has implicated her daughter in the murder of Dan Markel. I find all of that to be highly irresponsible, clickbaity, and very poor journalism. And in essence, it kind of supports some of the things that Charles Adelson was saying on all this jail calls about the media. So I hope that all the channels that have made statements to that regard make corrections as soon as possible. I also have seen other misinformation circulating about the case, specifically about Wendi, because I know that a lot of people have this opinion that Wendi was the mastermind, and maybe she was, but you gotta still be fair about how you interpret the evidence. And some guy who's a psychologist or something, supposed expert on body language, I guess he must be an expert on the English language as well, but not a good one, because he makes an interpretation from the interrogation video that was on my channel of Wendi Adelson. And from one statement that Wendi says, minutes into the interrogation, minutes after she's told about what happened to Dan Markel, that he was shot, then she says something to the effect like, well, based on the way that you were talking to me in the police car as we were driving here, I thought I was a suspect. And clearly in the context of the conversation, that could have several meanings, including the most logical meaning is that given all the information that I got to the moment that I'm making this statement, and looking back at how you were talking to me in the police car, now I think that you think that I'm a suspect. And I could have thought that 10 seconds before, 20 seconds before, 2 minutes before, not exactly in the police car. But people want to grab onto that one statement and use it in a way that's going to attract views. I find that to be highly irresponsible, and I don't ever want to be associated with such form of journalism. So thanks for watching, Mentor Lawyer. And I think that you, as an audience, you also have a responsibility to not promote clickbaity channels, clickbaity videos, and to not watch people who, when you dig deep and you look at what they say, you think, well, are they saying this because they want my view and my attention? So pay attention, people. Happy holidays to all of you. Thanks for watching Mentor Lawyer.
I don't know how much anger. Anyway, the Charlotte situation. I am not guilty because I did not do anything wrong, and I was not involved in any way with Danny's death. There she was. But I was interviewed by the police and testified in court.
I definitely think she says, and I didn't say she was. I didn't say she was.
I don't know how much anger we go. I'm not responsible in any way for Charlotte's situation. I am not guilty because I did not do anything wrong, and I was not involved in any way with Danny's death. There she was. When I was interviewed by the police and testified in court, I told the truth as I was required to do. I cannot control how the prosecutor used my statements at Charlotte's trial. Again, I didn't say that. No. I don't know how much anger.
Again, I didn't say that is consistent, right? So at first she says, and I didn't say that, right? And then the second time she says, again, I didn't say that. Ladybug was right.